Hey everyone, so today I want to come on here and do a video for my level up series. Sorry I've missed a couple weeks with it, but you know, the holidays have been intense for me, so yeah, we're back now. Anyway, so I've had a few people ask me about this specific topic, and when it comes to this topic, I feel as though I have some hands-on experience with this because my whole life in some way, shape, or form, I remember my mom has always told me that I go out of my way for people who would never do the same for me. And the people who I go out of my way for sometimes are people who I consider friends, but the way they treat me is not very friendly. So as I've gotten older, I've condensed my social circle quite a lot to where I realized it didn't matter about the quantity, it mattered about the quality. And when I started to really kind of hone in on how I wanted to present myself to the world and the type of energy that I was putting out into the world, that's when I started finally meeting like-minded people. So I'll get into the details about everything in a couple of minutes, but let's get into the video. So when it comes to leveling up your social circle, let's kind of dive into what we even mean by that. When I say level up your social circle, I kind of mean level up your friend group, you know, or the people who are closest to you. Now, this can be kind of easy if you have like-minded friends and family members, because then you can kind of go on this journey together. However, if you do not have like-minded friends trying to better themselves and level up as well with you, then you might have something else, which might be quite worse. You might have people who are gaslighting you and people who are intentionally sabotaging your level up journey because they don't want you to grow past them. Now, when it comes to the first part of this video, I really recommend looking at your friend group and your family group, you know, the people who are closest to you, the people who you care about the most, and really try to figure out, are these people helping you or hurting you? Are they lifting you up or are they pulling you down? I get a lot of DMs from women who are dealing with toxic family and dealing with toxic relationships and dealing with toxic friendships. But for me, I feel like you really have to set your intentions when it comes to keeping and having relationships. You need to set your intentions on what you're looking for, like what type of friend you're going to be, what type of partner you're going to be, what type of friend you're looking for, and what type of partner you're looking for. For me personally, when it comes to my friendships, I look for people who have the same energy that I do, you know, and that doesn't mean you have to be super happy-go-lucky and, you know, optimistic and like giddy and stuff like that all the time, you know, because I'm not like that all the time. That means that for the most part, you probably have a positive outlook. You're not a negative Nancy. You're not going to downplay me. You're not going to downplay yourself. And you're going to be consistent with yourself and consistent with others. That is what I look for with other people because that's what I look for within myself. Okay? So for me, when it comes to any relationship, I try to bring that energy and that aura first, and then I feel like I attract that same energy and aura. Does that make sense? Because a lot of the times we're not putting out that good, friendly, or good vibes, good energy, but we're still expecting to attract that. And I just don't think it works like that, okay? I don't. So you have to look inward first and really like think about it. Like, what kind of friend am I? My whole life, I've had interactions with people who, in my opinion, what I call them are takers. For instance, people who will call you to talk on your phone for hours, but they never ask you once about how you're doing. People who will ask you for a ride somewhere, but would not reciprocate it if you were in need. People who would ask you to borrow some money, but would not reciprocate it if you didn't have it. Some people don't even realize that they're takers. You know what I mean? Some people don't even think anything's wrong with it because nobody ever checks them on it. So I try to put out positive energy, but I also put down barriers and standards on what I will and won't tolerate. point blank. And I've had situations in the past where my friendships were one-sided, and I finally had to put my foot down and say, I'm not tolerating this, and if you keep acting like this, I will no longer be able to be friends with you. And once I did that, either A, the friendship ended right then and there, or B, they changed their actions because somebody finally checked them. Either way, I set my boundaries with people. And that for me is the first kind of step in changing and growing and leveling up your social circle, is having boundaries with your friends, having boundaries with your families, setting them and sticking to them, because it is important. So one thing about me is that I'm consistent with myself, and I expect others to be consistent with themselves. You know, you have to, because if you're not consistent with yourself, how can I expect you to be consistent in your other relationships? Does that make sense? So look for consistency with people. You know, if somebody says, hey, we're gonna meet at lunch at this time, and they show up an hour late, they just showed you something. They showed you a sign there, because they obviously don't respect your time. And so you have to think about things like that when it comes to all of your relationships, whether it's a personal relationship, like a romantic one, whether it's a family relationship, or whether it's a friendship. So that's my first thought on leveling up our social circle, okay? The next thing that comes in mind when I think of leveling up your social circle are two quotes. You are the company you keep, and your network is your net worth. I don't know if you've ever heard of them, but for me, I've heard of those things a lot my entire life. You know, you are the company you keep. And for me, a lot of the times, it really is true that even if you're not doing wrong, if you're around a bunch of people doing wrong, then you're going to be associated with them, and everybody's going to think you're doing the same thing that they're doing. Does that make sense? So you really have to watch who you keep in your close circle, and you really have to watch the company you keep. You know, are they lifting you up? Are they tearing you down? Are they motivating you, or are they keeping you stagnant because they don't want you to grow past them? You know, a lot of the times my friendships from when I was younger, I felt as I was getting older were keeping me stagnant. So I had to distance myself from those people. You know, I still care about them, I still love them, but I know that in the long run, it's better for me if I start to distance myself and stay away from them instead of spending all my time and energy with them, because some friends and family members are energy vampires. And partners. Some boyfriends can be energy vampires too. And girlfriends, whatever you're into. But you have to watch out for energy vampires in your circle. You know, if you have people who are sabotaging you in little ways, or not motivating you and not really motivating at all, and who are negative, people who are negative people can bring down your energy so much so that they can like put you into a bit of a depression. And if you don't kind of force yourself to distance yourself from these people, you're going to be hurting yourself in the long run, okay? The next tip I have for leveling up your social circle is, again, I'm going to say set your intentions, but think about people who motivate you. Think about women who you look up to. How do they dress? How do they act? What type of energy do they have? You know, when you're watching them or around them, how do they make you feel? And then look at yourself. What kind of energy do you have? You know, I said this in the beginning a little bit, but you really need to kind of match people's energies. For me, my friendships are all about energies. If your vibe matches my vibe, then we're probably gonna click. And sometimes I can see that through social media. You know, I have a lot of friends that I've made through social media. And sometimes I've even made friends through people who watch my YouTube channel or watch my Instagram, and they'll just leave me a DM saying, I got a DM from one of my girlfriends that said, hey, I watch your videos and I just feel like we would get along really well. So I just wanted to say hi, and I feel like we should be friends. And I was like, cool, I'm down. Now we got to know each other. It took a little while before we got to know each other, but now I consider that girl to be really good friends. And I've gone on vacations with friends like that. I've gone and stayed at their house, you know, when I visited their state. You know, I've met really cool people that way. You have to be safe though. You can't be too trusting of everybody. But there's nothing saying that with social media nowadays, and especially since we're in a pandemic, you can't really go out to events right now and meet people that way. So social media is a great tool to level up your social circle, because a lot of people that you meet on social media are probably going to be really open to, you know, having conversations with you and being friendly with you. You know, if the vibe matches, if the vibe is right, you know, because if it's not right, it's not going to work and you might not get any response. But if the vibe is right and you guys both click, then that's how friendships happen. And I have 5 friends that I can name off the back of my head that I've made via social media. And that's why I like the quote, your network is your net worth. A lot of my friends are really hardworking, they're really motivating, they're hustlers, they work their asses off. And they motivate me. They motivate me to start businesses. They motivate me to post more content on YouTube and on social media. They are just such motivating people, and they're such beautiful souls that I feel really blessed to even be friends with them. And so for me, that's what I look for in my friendships. People who make me feel like that. And ultimately, when you're trying to level up your social circle, you need to look for people who are going to motivate you to be better. People who want every one of their friends to win. Because there is no room for jealousy or bitterness in a friendship. There's no room for it. I have never been jealous of a friend. I can tell you that right now. I've never been jealous of a friend. Never. I've never had a feeling of wanting to see my friend lose so that I could win. I've never been there. I can't relate. Because that's not my friend if I feel that way. You know what I mean? That's not my friend. And also, when we talk about leveling up our social circle, we're not talking about being a clout chaser, and we're also not talking about people who are only friends with you for what you can give to them, because that makes you one of those takers. No, what we are talking about is reciprocating energy and reciprocating a vibe, and really just being friends with people who want everyone to eat. I'll give you an example. The other day, I had a friend who met somebody who worked in my field and who was opening a spa in my field because I'm an esthetician. And without even a thought, this person recommended me. They were like, hey, you need to look into hiring Jocelyn. She'd be perfect. And I'm like, wow, that's how we, that's how friends should be. You know, if I have the opportunity to hook my friend up with a business deal that's going to help them, or to give them good advice, or to hook them up with somebody who is really good for a relationship, or just a numerous amount of things. If I have the opportunity to help my friend get to a better level, then that's what I'm gonna do. And I want my friends to reciprocate that action. So yeah, in 2021 and beyond, when we're looking for friendships and we're looking at leveling up our social circle, we're looking for reciprocity, you know, people who reciprocate actions, and consistency, and the vibe. You know, you got a little vibe. Sometimes you don't vibe with everybody. Somebody could be a perfect person, but you just don't vibe with them. Your personalities don't match. That's okay. That's okay, because that you can keep them as an acquaintance. Not all acquaintances are friends, just so you know. Now on to my last little tidbit, networking. Networking is really amazing. It's an amazing tool, and you can make amazing friends out of networking. Now, when we're able to go out and about and you're able to go to certain events, whether it be a US Open match, or I don't know, a horse race, or just like any type of event you might have in your city, you know, where there might be like-minded women or motivating women at that space, or men, whatever you're looking for as a friend. You attend that group, you socialize, you network, and you might get some friends out of it. Even if you just get a couple of Instagram followers, you might become friends down the line because of that. So putting yourself out there, you know, really trying to, I think what they might have now is like Zoom groups. So you could probably go and join a book club. You can join groups like that. I actually have a book club. If you want to join, we would love to have you. I'll link it below, booksandvino.com. Anyway, little plug. But Join things like that. Join book clubs, join pottery clubs, stuff like that. Wine clubs, gotta love it. But the point is, you network, you put yourself out there. Even in a pandemic, you can do it through social media. You can do it through Instagram. You can do it through Zoom. It's not impossible. It's actually very possible and not that hard. At the end of the day, when it comes to leveling up your social circle, finding like-minded friends is probably the best way to do that. I do not have the same political beliefs as most of my friends. I do not have the same religious beliefs as most of my friends, but we still get along and they still motivate me and they still make me want to do better. And that's what makes us friends, you know? Watch who you socialize with, because sometimes they will set you up for failure. I think that's about it when it comes to this topic. I hope I wasn't all over the place, but when it comes to leveling up your social circle, it is kind of like a personal situation. You know, it depends on your personality. It depends on where you live sometimes, but it's never too late. And it's okay if you can't meet a lot of people, because it's all about quality over quantity. You know, sometimes having a bunch of people around you who are like-minded isn't going to help you grow. But having like one good, consistent person in your life can like help you bloom into a freaking butterfly. I don't know. So yeah, I hope you guys like this video. If you do, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you would like me to elaborate on anything I talked about in this video, please comment below and let me know what. Also, if you'd like me to film any other level up videos, I would love to know what kind of videos you'd like to see next. Be specific, be vague, be whatever you want. Just let me know if you like this by giving me a big thumbs up and clicking that like button. And I will talk to you later. Bye.